Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. In today's new GTA 5 online video, we're going to be checking out some pretty interesting ways that you can make some money this week here in GTA. If you want to make almost $1 million from just 6 contact missions, well, you're definitely going to want to stick around for this video to see exactly how. Because one of the bonuses we're going to be talking about here today, very simple thing. It's G's Cashes. These are on double money and double RP for the week. You can actually see my location here today. Over here, it's going to be different for everyone, I believe. You just come to this location and you got to find the actual G's Cash, the package itself. So we'll talk about that in just a second. But the other double money and double RP opportunity I want to talk about here are Gerald's contact missions. Every single one of Gerald's contact missions are paying out double money and double RP. But the ones you want to focus on are the Gerald's last play missions. Because if you complete the weekly challenge, you just need to complete 3 of them. You'll make 100K for the weekly challenge. If you play through all 6 of them, which we're going to check out a couple in this video. I'll give you guys some tips and tricks to make them easier. We'll play through some of the harder ones that players are having trouble with. But if you play through all 6 of them, you will actually get a $500,000 bonus for completing them. Okay, post-editing hazard here, just doing this real fast, making this announcement, and I want to insert it at the beginning of today's video just so no one is confused. And I'll also update my pinned comment on this video as well when the video goes live. Not only do you need to complete all 6 Gerald's Last Play missions, but you also need to collect 1 G's Cash to get the 500K. So all 6 missions and do a G's Cash. We're going to be talking about both of these things in this video, but collecting at least 1 G's Cash this week is part of the requirement to earn that $500,000 completion bonus after completing all 6 Gerald's Last Play missions. Do not forget to do that. If you want to sit here and farm them all week, are you going to make millions of dollars like that? No, absolutely not. But I would recommend logging onto the game, playing through each of these last play missions from Gerald just once, because you'll get the 100K for the weekly challenge. You'll make probably between $40,000 and $50,000 for these missions. The reason I'm giving that figure is because if you spend at least 7 minutes on it, you make at least $43,200. Players are probably going to take longer than I took to complete a lot of these missions, unless you're just flying around with an oppressor really fast completing them. But honestly, you don't want to complete them super fast anyway. You want to burn a couple minutes of time to drag out that payout interval. You get paid by the minute. You don't want to drag the timer out too long and go for the max payout at 15 minutes, because then you're just wasting time and you're earning less money per minute after a certain point. But the optimal time to complete these missions is within the 5 to 10 minute range. I'll be going into more detail on that as we get started, but play through all these missions just once and you get a $500,000 bonus completion award at the end. Give that up to 72 hours for it to show up in your bank account if you don't see it right away. So yes, as we fly over to the G's Cash and I show you what this is all about, call it from each one of those missions if you're making between $40,000 and $50,000. So 6 of those missions in total, plus 100K for the weekly challenge of completing just 3 of them, plus $500,000 for playing through all 6 of them at least once. You're making, give or take, $850,000, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. That's all kind of determined on how long or how short of a time you spend on each individual mission itself. But for me, playing through all 6 of them, I made $866,000. So almost $1 million just for 6 contact missions, which is really nice. Like I said, it's just good playing through the once. I would not recommend farming these all day, every day throughout the week, because any of your normal businesses on 1x money are going to be better. But if you just want to have some fun, you can drive some fast cars, get into some good gunfights. I mean, what's more GTA than that, right? All right, so let's check out the G's Cash. You come to the location on the map where the G's Cash is marked. Then you're going to wander around to a specific area, find the package, and pick it up. That's going to refill your armor. That's going to refill your ammo. And normally you get between $15,000 and $20,000. But of course, with double money, you're making between $30,000 to $40,000. And if you want to get the locations of every single G's Cash possible, plus the location of the actual G's Cash at each specific spawn point, because at this particular location, right here, you can get this spawn point, you can find another up in the corner, you'll find one over by the tree, etc., right? So you can find the link in the description below. It'll take you to gtaweb.eu, and you can filter out for the G's Cash locations, and that can help you daily. This is a great warm-up activity. If you're still playing GTA this week, let's say the money bonuses don't totally bore you to death, at least do this as a nice little warm-up activity. So yes, let's go collect that G's Cash right now. We just made $35,475. Okay, it's ammo and snacks, excuse me. It's not ammo and armor, it's ammo and snacks. I always get those two mixed up right there. But yes, there you go. $35,475, and that's basically just something I do every single day. I do that, I go after the stash house, I do the LS tags, I do the Martin Madrazo bounty, I do the most wanted target each day. That's a good way for me to set myself up with a couple hundred grand within like 30 minutes of booting up the game, before I move on to any of my business grinding. The first Gerald's Last Play mission we're going to be playing through in this video is Make Ends Meet. We're going to do it on hard mode for that 1.5 times RP in cash. Obviously, the missions are on double money and double RP this week, but you can obviously put the difficulty on normal for 1.25x the 2 times money or 1.5x the 2 times money. If you play it on easy, you're just getting the standard double money and double RP for this week. 59% rating. I'm surprised because this is actually one of my more favorite Gerald's Last Play missions to actually go through. You're fighting in a fun interior, and for me, there's nothing more fun in this game than taking some gunfights on foot, and that's exactly what we're going to be doing today. So we need to go to the Raven Slaughterhouse. You can see this vehicle I'm using. This is the Coquette D5. This has been glitched ever since it released. I mean, technically, this vehicle actually released as part of the Agents of Sabotage drip feed when the Oscar Guzman Flies Again missions released, so that was at the beginning of March, but this vehicle was technically in the game files ever since the release of Agents of Sabotage in December of 2024, and it's been glitched and bulletproof since then. It can still blow up, it's not explosive resistant, but this vehicle is bugged just like the Sterling GT used to be, as well as I believe it was the normal Kuruma before that. Both of those vehicles were bugged. Like the Sterling GT during the Criminal Enterprises update was bugged. You could shoot out the windows would shatter, but your bullets actually couldn't penetrate the vehicle, and so it was like this glitched bulletproof state. The Coquette D5 is the exact same thing. And I thought Rockstar was going to patch it with the Money Fronts update whenever that summer DLC arrived. They never patched it. So I don't know if they are ever going to patch it. It's kind of nice that they just left it in the game because it's a good car to have as like a glitched bulletproof vehicle. Anyways, if you're having trouble with missions, that could be a good vehicle to invest in, just in general, whether you're running this type of content or other missions in this game. There are some missions as part of Gerald's Last Play, like for example, I believe the mission is called End Product, where you're using the Mule Custom. We're probably gonna, I don't know if we're gonna check that out in this video, or maybe I'll do a live gameplay on it later, because I know players are struggling with that one supposedly, just because there's so many enemies and so many gunfights that you take. It would behoove you to use that vehicle in that mission. You know, the Armored Kuruma or Duke of Death, you could probably get by just fine. Obviously, for other missions, if you want to speed them up, use the Oppressor Mark II. But just like any normal contact missions in this game, you just want to make sure you're spending at least 5 minutes on these missions. The optimal time to money ratio on content in this game is 10 minutes. That basically, what I mean by that is you get paid on a per minute interval basis in this game. So each minute you're technically getting paid for while you run these missions. If you spend, say, less than about 5 minutes on these missions, you're earning the maximum amount of money per minute for those missions, but you're only spending 5 minutes on it. That optimal time at 10 minutes, basically you're earning the maximum amount of money per minute all the way up until that 10-minute mark. And then what happens is the money you're making per minute goes down at that point. So you can either maximize the amount of money you're making on a mission by spending up to 15 or 16 minutes on it, but I don't recommend you do that. I recommend you spend at least 5 minutes on the mission, optimally 10, but I also don't like sitting around for that long. So I typically like to just spend 5 minutes on it. That way I'm not just sitting around there twiddling my thumbs waiting, but optimally, if you want like the perfect time to money ratio for these missions, spend 10 minutes on it. Most of these missions you can get done in less than 10 minutes anyway, so you will probably be waiting around. A lot of the time, you can probably get them done in about 5, 6, 7 minutes, depending on what vehicle you're using. It'll be faster if you use an Oppressor Mark II. If you're using a normal car like I am, just to get around the map, you know, expect that almost 10 minutes per mission, you know, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes. This one's just fun. I like taking these gunfights in this fun slaughterhouse. You know, it reminds me of the single player mission, but just in general, when it comes to content in this game, I love having big set pieces to fight in. I don't really just like driving around the map for some of these missions where you have to like blow people up or steal, you know, packages and stuff like that. I just like shooting a bunch of enemies on foot. It makes it more entertaining for me. The kind of mindset I get into when I play content like this is like I'm playing a game like The Division, you know? A lot of on-foot gunfights, cover, utilize that, etc. We just need to take out the gang boss. I'm pretty sure every single one of these missions makes you regroup at Gerald's apartment once you complete the task for the mission itself. All these missions we need to regroup at Gerald's apartment, right? It's 2025. Homeboy has been in the exact same apartment for 12 years, and he's still slinging the same illicit goods out of his front door. I gotta hand it to him. I'm surprised he hasn't gotten caught yet. So we just took that guy out. I mean, we just shot him in the back of the head. And here you go. Now we need to regroup at Gerald's apartment. No matter if you're playing with 1, 2, 3, or 4 people, or you're playing it solo like I am, you will always have to go back to Gerald's apartment. And that's why I say using an oppressor on the mission is going to make things faster, because obviously you can get around the map easier with that. That being said, not every single player has an $8 million oppressor Mark II. Or, you know, I guess it's 6 million if you did a couple of the terabyte client jobs to get the trade price, right? But point being, if you don't have the Oppressor Mark II, you're just fine with the Armored Kuruma. The Duke of Death is a great vehicle because it's absolutely free. And there we go. I kind of pissed around on this mission, you know, explaining, commentating. 7 minutes though, $43,200. And there we go. Let's move on to the next job. And 3,796 RP, by the way, is not bad at all either. Now, funny enough, it actually only took me about 6 minutes to complete that previous mission because the first minute to minute and a half, I was just rambling in this menu anyway. But moving on to the second mission we're going to be doing today, End Product. This has a 47% rating. From what players are saying, they have the most trouble on this one compared to any other mission from Gerald's last play in that quest line, just because of the fact you need to basically guard a mule custom while there's a ton of enemies that spawn and light you up. So unless you're in that glitched Coquette D5 as a bulletproof vehicle, or your armored Kuruma, or a Duke of Death, or some other type of armored vehicle, I'm pretty sure you could probably use the Kanjali on this if you want to, or if you're just taking cover, right? Unless you're in some sort of vehicle that can give you cover, players are having trouble completing this because they're taking way too much damage, there's too many enemies, etc. Now, I don't even know the last time I played through this mission, but I'm gonna just drive over there. I'm gonna try and do it on foot and see how we do, just to see, so I can kind of give you guys my own recommendation. I guess we need to drive the mule custom anyway. If you guys want to use your bulletproof Coquette D5 on this type of mission, what you actually need to end up doing is probably driving over there first with that vehicle, then bringing the mule custom over second, or vice versa. You just don't want to park this truck in the spot it tells you to, because otherwise you'll trigger the mission, and then when those enemies start spawning and you need to defend this truck, you actually can't leave the play area. There's like a finite space you can actually play in. But since we're just gonna go on foot and do this mission ourselves and probably just take cover and hope we don't die, maybe this is gonna bite me in the butt, who knows, we can just drive the truck over and keep it simple. This will subtract the amount of time we're on this mission, most likely, because we're not spending time driving another vehicle over, etc. So we're gonna get this done faster, which means we're gonna earn less money unless we drag out that, you know, invisible timer a little bit. But I'll let you guys know at the end exactly how long I take. And usually if I'm in the middle of finishing a mission at like a 30-second time interval, I'll just wait a little bit longer and extend it to the next payout interval. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go to the deal location, park up in this parking space right here. Like I said, if you're bringing another vehicle over for you to sit in, what I would highly recommend is just to leave this truck here, go back and fetch your vehicle, then you can come back, park the truck, and your vehicle will be here waiting for you to use. But for the sake of this mission, like I said, we're just gonna go to the deal location, wait for the buyers to arrive, and yeah, let's just hope we don't get absolutely riggedy wrecked. I should, oh, you know what? Okay, I do have my explosive rounds. Do I have my combat MG? No, okay, I still have the wrong ammunition on here, which is a problem. So yeah, let's protect the mule custom. The good thing is I believe a lot of these enemies target you and not necessarily the mule custom itself. I believe maybe you could even sit in the mule custom for this, but the problem with that is the enemies are going to be trying to shoot at you. They're going to hit the truck, in which case the truck takes damage. You don't want the truck to take damage because that's how you fail the mission. You need that thing to have health by the end of it. So if I wanted to play this the smart way, I probably wouldn't just face tank all these enemies, but I mean, it's me we're talking about. Like, I face tank everything. Do I ever take cover? Not really. I probably should for the sake of this mission. I should set a good example for the youth, right? But I feel like this isn't a terrible spot as is. You know what I may do, though? I'm gonna reposition myself over here. Can I get behind this barrier? This would probably make things a little bit easier, because at least that way, like, the people above me can't shoot down. You know, if I position myself just to give myself cover from the guys on the street over there, and the top of the overpass and like the street up above, I'm leaving myself exposed by people who are spawning up here. So you could just take cover behind the wall. But you can see, I mean, we're using free aim and stuff. It's not too big of a deal. I feel like if you just are absolutely terrible at aiming in this game, I mean, you know, the game is aiming for you with auto aim regardless. But if you're on free aim and you're having trouble, then just switch to auto aim, right? But say if you can't get it done, period, obviously abuse your snacks and armor. Keep an eye on that health. You can see I almost died there. That's why you absolutely always need to be looking at your health. I probably am staring at my health and armor more in this game than I am looking at what's actually in front of me for a mission like this. So that's a little tip I have. Sort of like, you know, if you guys play like Call of Duty or Warzone or anything like that, you just abuse looking at the minimap to see the enemy pings and stuff like that. Especially if you're playing like Rebirth Island and Resurgence. That way you always know where enemies are. You see the blips on the minimap, etc. As much as you would look on the minimap at Call of Duty to give yourself information on where the enemies are, look right below the mini-map in this game. Well, also look at the mini-map in this game to see where the enemies are, but also look at the mini-map and right below it to see how much health and armor you have, because that's just as important of a piece of info as the mini-map itself. So I believe after we wipe out all these guys, we should probably be able to leave at this point, I would imagine. You can see we are taking a pretty decent amount of damage, though. We are probably going to end up using most of our armor, if not all of it, and a good portion of my snacks. Let's see. But it is fun, you know? You just abuse cover. That's really it at the end of the day. I actually don't like this position, though. Now that I'm sitting here and these enemies are where they're at, I think I'm going to move, because those guys are kind of bothering me up there. Let me take this guy out. I want to kind of reposition myself, but I don't want to do it now in the middle of these guys shooting me, because then I'm just going to be wasting armor for no reason. So maybe I will just end up hunkering down and sitting here anyway. I mean, we've sat here this whole time anyway. No sense in moving, right? This is clearly not the best spot to be sitting in. Let's see, a couple more. You can use different guns. Special carbine is going to be the way to go if you want to use a nice AR. I just love this carbine rifle Mark II. Oh yeah, you can see we're out of P's and Q's because now I'm regaining health slower with those snacks. This probably will be one of my last bits of armor. I'm actually curious. Okay, I have no more armor, and yeah, we are ripping through our snacks. So yeah, you can see the nice health and snacks check right there. We are... Oh, okay, we just got absolutely lit up. Hello. Woof. Did that fail the mission? No, we do have one more life. So let's just be careful. Now you can see it says we're out of the area. It literally spawned me way out of the play arena. So that's something you got to be careful of as well. If you end up dying... Nice. Just be careful of the fact that the game will technically spawn you out of bounds. I actually can't believe they do that. That's something I was not expecting. I'm glad they give you like 15 seconds. Because if I was further away or something... Oh man, that would have been bad. These guys... Okay, they're sneaking up there. I didn't know they spawned from that direction. Let me kill you. Kill you guys as well. Take you out. Sucker. And there we go. Now we can enter the mule custom and leave. So that is a... Oh, hello. That was close, actually. Imagine if I died with 2 enemies left. That would have been unfortunate. Now we can enter the mule custom and leave. You can see exactly, I mean, just how much health we lost. I was not expecting us to take that much damage. I could see why players recommend you just sit in a bulletproof car. Because, yeah, if you're going to play this, like, over and over and over, you might as well just use a bulletproof vehicle. Whether you use your armored crew mode or you want something actually glitched out and bulletproof, like the Coquette D5, you definitely want to use that. Because I would say replaying it, just the fact, even just first impression and playing it for the first time since that release, that content and that activity, the fact that I died once and like almost died a second time because of the enemy's crazy aimbot on me. The enemies in this game, they either shoot at you and they miss every single bullet, or they hit you with every single one. There's no in between. They don't hit you like once or twice. You either get mag dumped or they have the most stupid aim you've ever seen in your entire life, right? All that to say, be careful running a mission like this. We were driving back to Gerald's apartment, but as you can see, the mission script updated, and now we need to go to the New Deal location. So we need to drive over to the docks, I believe. You're going to have a couple enemies pursuing you. They may end up hitting your mule custom, dealing a little bit of damage. But as long as you weren't sitting in this whole truck for the mission, you should be fine. That's why I think every player is going to recommend you just sit in a different vehicle, because the enemies in this mission target you. They don't target the vehicle itself. Obviously, this truck is taking damage because I'm sitting inside of it, and so when they shoot and miss, they're going to hit the truck anyway because I'm an occupant of this vehicle. Back in the day when you couldn't use snacks and armor through the weapon wheel, I actually don't know how people completed this, because that was a lot going on. Constantly needing to use the interaction menu for that must have been just so annoying. That, I think, is one of the best quality of life changes ever for this game. Being able to use your snacks and armor through the weapon wheel. When did that change come about? Was that with the Criminal Enterprises update? I think it was. And then with San Andreas Mercenaries, they added the hold to run mechanic. Both of those, for some reason, are my favorite things about this game ever. The DLCs themselves, on their own, like content-wise, they weren't anything crazy, but for quality of life changes, those were some of my favorite pieces of content in the entire game. As you can see, we just got absolutely lit up right here. I was not expecting all those enemies to be sitting there. And we're going to be doing this with limited health now. So what I'm going to do is just sit back. We've used all our snacks, all our armor. I don't want to fail this mission right at the end. You know, it would suck to have to record this again. So let me just go through, use my micro SMG, blast them all to Kingdom Come. I mean, I've been shooting these guys in the head for like 15 days and they're still not dead. All right, perfect. Thank you guys. These 3 little goons right here didn't help me at all. Appreciate you guys just camping here doing absolutely nothing. And there we go. That's how the deal goes down, Gerald said. You know, the funniest thing actually, not only is Gerald living in the same apartment for 12 years straight, at this point, we're probably his biggest competitors. Does he even know that we're his competitors in this game? Like, we work for him. So anyway, that was about, yeah, 10-minute mission for $50,400 right there. So that is like on the high end of the amount of time you want to spend on a mission like this. I don't recommend you take 10 minutes for a mission for $50,000. I would much rather do a mission in 5 or 6 minutes and still get paid like $35,000. I feel like that's a lot better. I could do more missions over time. Save half the time, but make more than half the money. That's just my opinion right there. All right, so we're back here in the free roam. I took the liberty of just going through another mission. I just did the mission Deal With It, and that should complete our weekly challenge where you complete 3 of Gerald's last play missions and you make the 100,000. So I made $43,200 on Make Ends Meet. That took me 6 minutes to do. And obviously I took a little bit of extra time on that, to be honest. Then End Product took us 10 minutes. We made $50,400. And then the third one I did was Deal With It, $43,200. Took us 7 minutes. Don't forget about the bonus if you play through the rest of the Gerald's last play missions. There you can see it says weekly challenge complete 3 of those missions. So we got that. But if you complete all 6, you get a $500,000 bonus as well. So if we were to play the other 3 missions, which I haven't done, which would be Bad Companies, Fast Pedaling, and Go Figure, you know, we'd make between $35,000 to $50,000 on those missions, depending on how fast or how slow we take to complete those. That's going to take us another, call it essentially 20 minutes to get those other missions done. And we're going to get a $500,000 bonus on top of everything else. Let's say we took about 7 minutes for the rest of those missions as well. I doubt we're going to complete them that much faster. And even if so, I could still target the 7-minute time if we're actually faster than that pace. But if we were to make $43,200 on every single mission except End Product, which we made $50,400 on, that's in total $266,200 just for playing through the missions on Double Money. Add 100K to that and you're at $366,200 with the weekly challenge completed. Then you add the $500,000 completion bonus for completing all 6 of those missions, just doing them once. Just do it this week, play through them once, you get 500K for that. So in total you make $866,200 for playing through all the missions just once, bonuses as well as the weekly challenge and the bonus money challenge included. So you make over $850,000 in about 40 minutes right there, which is not bad at all. That's pretty good money for that amount of time spent. Do you want to grind these missions all week? You don't have to. I wouldn't even recommend it, obviously. Most other businesses are going to make you more money, but I would say $266K playing through those in 40 minutes. What is that? $350,000 an hour? That's on pace with the auto shop in terms of money per hour, which is not bad at all. So those are some of the Gerald's Last Play missions. You guys also saw the G's Cash as well in today's video. Just some simple ways to make money this week. Like I said, I have to reiterate this enough because I'm sure I'm going to get some comments. Is the Gerald's Last Play missions worth farming this week just because they're on Double Money and that's all you should do? No, because every other business is going to be better. But do I recommend you play through them at least once just to get the bonus money for the weekly challenge of 100K plus the 500K just for playing through them? Yeah, why not? It's going to take you less than an hour. It's going to take you less than 45 minutes. You might as well do it. And that's good money you're making for the time you're spending right there. So that's why I recommend it, because I'm always a shill for money in this game, right? Like any activity that you can do to make some good money that isn't the usual CAYO or Dr. Dre, I'm going to recommend it because it's a different way to have fun and play the game. So anyways, thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic day. Drop a like if you guys enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Check me out over on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Adios, amigos.